What did I do at the end of the game? What did that mean when I got set on fire and then the game was over? No idea. Let's find out. We're going to go back to Vati Vidya's YouTube channel, and we're going to continue with the Dark Souls Prepare to Cry lore because it's been great. I'm not going in order. I've just been going basically in the order of my questions that I have as I'm watching this, and it seems to be working. The good and the bad ending. This is what I'm really wondering about now. So let's watch this one.
Most AAA titles these days are pretty predictable. You have the hero, the villain, the polite dialogue choice, the rude dialogue choice, the bad guys, the good guys, and all the meaningless choices along the way. If you're watching my
Toads are not good guys, they're evil, by the way.
Videos, then you should already know that Dark Souls breaks the mold. Most games either have one canon ending or allow you to choose from a selection of moral minefield endings at the end of the game. Dark Souls is the latter, but the endings are ambiguous as hell. The more you learn about the game, the more confusing the endings become.
Yeah.
Most games give you closure, but both Dark Souls endings probably leave you wondering what would happen next. What consequence would my choice have in the game world? The first ending we'll analyze is the Length of Fire ending. You sacrifice your body and soul as fuel for the first flame, which keeps the gods in power.
Okay.
We'll call this the Light ending.
So I did what Gwyn did, right? Which was my mission all along. Like, that's what they told me my mission was. But I don't know why I was listening to that dirty serpent Frampt in the first place.
Your other choice is letting the flame die out, allowing you to become the Dark Lord and ushering in the Age of Man. Let's call this the Dark ending.
Okay.
Now, this video assumes you have some idea of what's going on in the Dark Souls universe. If you don't, I have a Dark Souls lore in a minute video you could watch, or you could brush up on the fundamentals presented by Epic Namebro. To properly understand the endings, you must understand what makes them significant.
Okay.
In the beginning, the 4 Lord Souls were found within the first flame. Gwyn obtained the Light Soul and ushered in an Age of Fire based around that first flame. This Age of Fire meant that the gods and the lords were in control of the world, ruling over humanity. They lit bonfires from the first flame and shepherded the humans. But where did the humans come from? Well, it's my theory that humanity is spawned from the fragments of the Dark Soul. As humanity split and grew, the dark began to overcome the light. This concept of disparity plays a huge role in the game. As the first flame faded, the light faded, and as the light faded, the power of Gwyn and the Age of Fire faded. As the gods started to lose their power, they began to recognize the threat that humanity could pose. It seems the gods couldn't decide what to make of humanity. In the dialogues of Kiaran and Goff, we see some of this uncertainty. If you aid them, they decide that humans aren't so bad after all. But if you slight them, then they treat you with that built-up resentment.
That's kind of appropriate, isn't it? I mean, it's like... It seems to be a common theme is what I'm trying to say. Like, humans can be generally thought of as, like, bad. Until you get to know us. And then we're kind of cool, right? But it's also interesting that the game portrays humans and humanity as dark. Or at least that's what Vati is saying. I don't know if that's actually what the game does. This is kind of his theory, he says. So, I mean, it makes sense, though. But my question is then, like, with Gwyn... If he, and the gods think that the humans are just kind of like chaotic and evil and they don't like us or them, and then they decide to create the light, or Gwyn decides to create the light and makes fire and the bonfires to like combat that somehow, and then Nito makes the death, and then it's all like why though? Like, I don't know. Why though? Why does only Gwyn want to do that, I guess, is my main question, and not the other gods? If all of the gods don't like the humans?
So this is true human nature.
Yeah. See? Like, once you get to know us, we're not so bad, right?
The flame continues to fade. The gods abandon Anor Londo, and the remaining gods use illusions to preserve their power.
Oh.
Gwyn, holder of the Light Soul, goes to the kiln of the first flame and offers himself as fuel. He sacrifices himself to let the flame burn a little longer. This buys the gods a bit more time to find a solution to their problem.
Oh, okay. That kind of answers my question, I guess. Yeah, Gwyn, what a nice guy. I mean, what a cool dude in the eyes of the gods, I guess. I'm sure they all celebrate him. Are they all dead? I was thinking maybe they have like a toast to Gwyn, Lord of the Flame, who sacrificed his whole self in order to burn the flame a little longer for all of us gods. And then screw the humans! That's what they say, probably.
You are that solution. By linking the fire, you become the fuel for the first flame. With you in Gwyn's place, the Age of Fire can continue. But what makes you so special?
Yeah.
Well, the character is a very powerful undead if they can make it all the way to Gwyn, and it follows that the more powerful you are, the longer you will burn. It could be that this is why Frampt is trying to push undead towards Gwyn. He is trying to find the one who will burn the longest.
That is so rude. You look like you'll make a real good kindling. Go get him, Mr. Undead. I believe in you. I'm not going to tell you why I need you to go be in the fire, but trust me, it's really cool, and you will love it.
So by burning in Gwyn's place, you have to ask yourself what purpose it serves. You're preserving the reign of the gods and rising to the needs of a dying hierarchy. It's not even a temporary solution. Gwyn was powerful enough to take out the immortal dragons, and even he became a husk by the end. So while you could see linking the flame as a selfless act, it's hard to imagine that you're doing it for any greater purpose. Indeed, if you link the flame, you are rising to the needs of people who could simply be using you.
Yeah, that's my view of
Is this
it.
the good ending? At first glance, it seems like it. Most players go through the game only meeting the serpent Frampt, who promises that linking the flame will undo the curse of the undead.
Yeah.
He talks of fate and gives you purpose.
Frickin'
So at
Frampt.
first, I thought this was the right thing to do. I didn't know that Anor Londo and Guinevere were illusions. I didn't know I was being used, and I thought I was being selfless. But then I heard what Karth had to say. He says that after the advent of fire, the ancient lords found 3 souls, but your progenitor found the dark soul, and waited for fire to subside. He says that with the fading flame comes the age of man. He paints Gwyn as a god who resisted the course of nature, and says that you are being manipulated by Frampt to keep Gwyn's age of fire going.
Wow, I totally missed that, didn't I?
By killing Gwyn and walking away from the first flame, Karth promises that the dark will finally come, and with it, the age of man will begin. At first, I thought that Karth's hidden dialogue was the truth. It makes sense. When you realize that Frampt is manipulating you, you feel like you should believe everything Karth has to say. It seems like Karth is telling the whole truth. But is he telling the whole truth? Is the darkness really a place where humans can thrive? Humans are born from the dark soul, that much is true. The Black Humanity sprite is proof of that. But when we journey back to see what happened in Ulasil, we realize how dangerous the dark is to humans. Ulasil was once a human city, overrun by the dark. These are its residents, and this is the fate of the humans who come into contact with the dark.
Yeah, it would make sense that, like, Karth would just tell you the opposite. If, like, Frampt wants the light to survive in the gods, then maybe Karth just wants the opposite. It just wants the, you know, the dark and the abyss and the death. And if humans are, maybe, you know, humans are also in some way like a fuel for the dark, too. So if we exist, the humans exist, then that would get him what he wants. This more dark, whatever.
This is the age of man that Karth promises. One serpent tells you lies, and the other tells you truth. Both of them are manipulating you. If you link the fire, you are sacrificing yourself so that Frampt and Gwyndolin can rule with the illusion of power in Anor Londo. If you let the flame fade, the age of dark will come. But is this a place where humans thrive? No, Ulasil is proof of that. In the end, it doesn't matter what you do. If you link the flame, you're just delaying the inevitable. If you let the flame fade, the darkness comes a little sooner, with you at the helm. The one canon ending to Dark Souls is in the prologue. One day the flame will fade, and only dark will remain. So instead of choosing an ending, just go and live with Priscilla or something.
Great idea. She seemed very nice. She's got her own little world in the painting. Although, you know, it wasn't very friendly there either. I don't know if I would want to live there. Maybe if I became undead, I could, like, fit in a little bit better, but at least she was not hostile immediately. But it's just like the whole game, or whatever you choose, seems to be like a balance keeping the balance going between light and dark, and then the two serpents are just trying to trick you to go one way or the other because each side just wants to win. But in reality, there's no winning for you or like humanity. It's just humanity is like teeny tiny in the grand scheme of things, and we're just like, you're just being manipulated the whole time, and that's very interesting. It's just a hopeless endeavor. So you're forced to choose between the darkness or the light, but neither one is actually serving humanity. That's so depressing. So depressing. All right, let's keep going a little bit longer.
What turns an undead into a hollow? Is it the passing centuries in a never-ending life? The experience of dying hundreds of times? Or is it those things, coupled with the loss of hope? Firelink is often the last place the heroes visit before they hollow. It's the gateway to many dangerous places. Most undead in Lordrun have a purpose that they strive towards before hollowing. However, there is one who is content to wait until his sanity slips away. The apathy of this man is kept within Firelink's shrine, where he simply watches. Heroes come and go, some never return, and he remains. At least nothing will bother him once he goes hollow.
Oi, did you see him? Big Hat Logan, the legendary sorcerer, in the flesh. This place is simply mad. Legendary heroes popping up left and right. They're making me feel quite inadequate, to be honest. Oh, have you seen that terribly morose lass, the Firekeeper? She's stuck keeping that bonfire lit. Sad, really. She's mute and bound to this forsaken place. How did that silly sorcerer's apprentice end up? You know, the one always prattling on about Master Logan. He left for the Undead Burg, but never came back. Serves him right. If even old Big Hat can't make it out there, what chance does he have? I hope he enjoys his new life as a hollow. How did that raggedy old chum end up? You know, the one who idolized some godmother of pyromancy. He left for Blighttown, but never came back. Did you hear about the maiden? The virtuous lass came back alone, and in absolute tatters. Did her followers die, or was she abandoned? Who knows? But I suppose we've heard the last from Milady. Did you ring the second bell? That is incredible, I must say. But now we have a new problem. It's noisy, it snores, and its breath is lethal, and I was really beginning to like it here. Maybe it's time I do something about it.
Did he really do that?
Well, what are you going to do? I've already decided. I don't really care. I'm simply crestfallen.
Oh. Wow. That explains so much about that guy. How do you get him to say all of those lines in the game? Because he wouldn't say any of that stuff to me, and then he was just gone one day. He was gone before I found some of those other people even, but so maybe it was like the order of things that I did things in. I don't know, but that explains a lot. So he decided that he was going to stay in Firelink Shrine until he became hollow, because he just didn't think it was worth it to go anywhere else, and until Frampt came and started annoying the hell out of him. And then he decided to attack Frampt for whatever reason and ended up in New Londo as a hollow, and then we kill him down there in New Londo. So he ends up eating his words anyway, because he just I don't know. I mean, he was slowly going hollow anyway while he was sitting there, apparently. So then does he just like wander down to New Londo after he becomes hollow? Because Frampt's little hole does not lead to New Londo. So I guess we're just supposed to assume that he walks down there from Firelink Shrine. I don't know. Okay. Big Hat Logan.
Life originates in the soul, which exists in solid and loose forms. Stronger beings have their souls held together in unicity, infusing their unique personality and power. When the body is broken, the link to these souls is severed, exposing the solid soul to the air. When exposed, souls burn like they are on fire. It makes sense then that the 4 Lord Souls were found within the first flame. They were the fuel. But if the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? The truth is, even humanity originates from the soul. It's simply a fragment of the dark soul. The mysteries of souls, crystals, and sorceries are deeply intertwined. The more you understand these things, the more control you have over them. Soul sorcery is the art of controlling soul power with knowledge, just like we manipulate fire with heart and instinct, and miracles through faith. The Dragon School of Vinheim teaches and researches sorcery. The great hero of Vinheim is Big Hat Logan, a great sorcerer and teacher to many students. In time, however, he tired from the attention of others and donned a large hat to hide his face, earning him his nickname. Locked away in a cage,
Couldn't he just got like a face mask?
We first encounter Big Hat Logan.
I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive. I'm saved, and I'd love to resume my travels, but I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor.
Back at Firelink Shrine, Logan treats you like an equal, and offers to teach you all that he knows.
Glad to see you alive. As promised, I will share my sorceries. You really are very diligent.
On your journey, you'll find another sorcerer from Vinheim. Once rescued, Griggs joins you at Firelink Shrine as another sorcerer who's in your debt. On the topic of Logan, he says this.
He is a true hero. No, the reason I seek Logan is, well, it's really my own conceit now, isn't it?
This sorcerer of Vinheim seeks Logan simply to prove that he can. It's clear that he admires the man and strives to be like him. After you've proven your worth as a student and learned everything that Logan has to teach, Logan mentions that he has plans to leave. As to where, that's unknown.
Heading out, are you? I too will leave soon. Undead or no, I shan't stay here forever. You have great potential. Don't go and die over nothing.
With his debt repaid, Logan leaves Firelink. He tells you his plans, but he doesn't tell Griggs, who is left in the dark again.
Oh, there you are. Just so you know, Master Logan has left on his own again. It seems that he is still determined to find the famed regal archives in Anor Londo. I intend to search for him.
And this is the last you'll ever hear of Griggs. Hope that you never see him again. Sorcery is enhanced by understanding and knowledge. That's why Logan seeks the Archives, a place built for Seath the Scaleless, as reward for his help against the everlasting dragons. The knowledge contained there is beyond measure. Seath was born different from his brothers, who were encased in stone scales that made them immortal. Seath was a mutation, an albino dragon who didn't have the immortality his brothers possessed. Driven by jealousy, he betrayed their secrets, and soon after, driven by desperation, he began the search for immortality. Seath created six-eyed channelers to be his eyes, scouring the archives and other lands for knowledge. He created crystal golems to retrieve trinkets and maidens for his experiments. He does all this, knowing that time is running out. Logan once taught you that life originates in the soul. That's why a crystal-homing soul mass draws towards it. Somehow, crystals are linked to the soul, and so, through the power of crystals, Seath finally finds what he's been looking for.
Oh, that's why you have to kill that thing, that crystal, before you fight him, because he's like immune to damage until you kill it. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Got it. Mm-hmm.
The secret of Seath's immortality. If you have fought him and were in prison, you must know that Seath is a true undead, different from ourselves. His wounds close promptly, and no mortal blow affects him, granting true insulation from death. It is an effect of the primordial crystal, a sacred treasure pillaged by Seath when he turned upon the ancient dragons. So only by destroying the primordial crystal can you so much as scratch his hide.
Seath's knowledge comes at a price. He finds a source of immortality and hides it away, but something changes. The other lords notice. Seath locks himself away in his archives and stations 2 armored boars in the hallways. Channelers guard the stairways and crystal hollows are scattered throughout. On top of all that, the archives now lead anyone strong enough to a chamber with Seath himself inside. Upon your death, Seath locks you in a cell with a bonfire, knowing that you'll be locked into a cycle within that cell. It's almost like he knew you were coming.
Rude!
You can escape and roam the archives freely.
I actually thought that part was really cool. Just a very, like, creative part of the game. Good job, Seath, you got me.
This is where you encounter Logan again. But he's not the same.
He's gone crazy.
Oh, there you are. It's been a while. Or were you just here? This fascinating place defeats my sense of time. But I can't remember the death. He's undead. He was.
The same knowledge that unsettled Seath is affecting Logan. There's some things in the archives that should remain unknown. For the path to true knowledge is cursed, and the fate of the 3 sorcerers in Lordran is something that should be forgotten.
Wait, you can kill him? You kill Logan too? I didn't find him.
The less that is known, the better.
Crazy. I thought Logan was a pretty interesting character, but that all makes sense. So I think next video I would like to do the Artorias story, because that one is pretty cool. I already know like a little bit about it, but I really want more info because it's pretty juicy. So we'll do that one next time. Let me know what you think about these videos. Hopefully you guys are finding them as interesting as I am. Again, if you want to go and just like binge watch all of Vadi's videos on your own without me getting in the way, then just go over, definitely go over to Vadi's channel and subscribe and just watch all of the stuff. Like I said before, I'm only going to watch the Dark Souls 1 lore videos right now, and then later I'll go through the rest probably, but they're very good, very well put together, and really informative. So, yeah. Thank you, patrons, YouTube members, for supporting the channel, and thank you everyone for your eyeballs. I'll see you soon for another video. Bye-bye.